You brought up the Paphos. I guess this is a good time to ask you because we've heard from a lot of listeners. WWE, I think it may be the WWE Vault, put up footage of seemingly you and Randy Macho Man Savage in some sort of go-kart competition.
Yes.
There's a man mid-track with a tennis racket. I don't know who he is. Eventually, there's a...
He was the guy that was assigned to me to make sure that none of the fans fucking bothered me, and so I made him my manager.
Eventually, there was a chase of sorts, but what are your memories? What can you tell me anything about this?
Well, and there may be other footage coming out. See, this may be the tip of the iceberg, because wait till you see me playing Macho Man at Goony Golf.
Are you serious? Did you really do that?
Not only am I serious, but I've got some pictures of that day. And by the time, because that was in Knoxville, Tennessee, in the middle of summer, I can't remember the date. If I went through my books, it may be jotted down, but by the time that day was over with, after the go-kart racing and the Goonie golfing, and another thing I'll tell you about in a minute, I'm wearing those green pants and that, I think, what was it, purple or mauve or whatever shirt, and I am covered in sweat. It looks like people have dumped buckets of water over my head. Because in those days, I was a free perspirer, so maybe they'd taken mercy on me and not playing the Goonie golf portion. But Randy Savage, for a period of time, worked Knoxville in the ICW / All-Star Wrestling days that we just referred to in our previous subject, in what was that, 1979 and 80, 81, 82, you know, when they were working East Tennessee, Eastern Kentucky. The point is, and I'm pretty sure at some point he lived in Knoxville, and then he lived in Lexington, but a friend of his from those days was opening a Goonie golf / go-kart. I can't remember the name of the business, saved my life, but it was a Goonie golf and go-kart place. What, you know, and I can't remember, I think it was in West Knoxville. I mean, I know people say I can remember everything, but seriously, this was it's 30 years ago, and it was one day. And the office had called me and said, hey, Randy's doing an appearance to help his friend out. And since I was in Smoky Mountain Wrestling and living in East Tennessee, they said, would you go down there and help him out and do an appearance for the grand opening of this deal? And I said, sure, this will be fucking hilarious, right? So what time frame that's before he and Vince had their issues, so that would have been 1993.
So it wasn't around when he worked for you?
Well,
because that was what? That was early 94, wasn't it?
No, but this was, but still, no, it wasn't like that weekend. It was another time he came down just to do this thing, and I went over to do it with him.
Because there's only like a year and a half period of time it could have happened, because you only first showed up there in the summer of 93, and he was gone by the fall of 94.
Well, that's what I'm saying to you, is it was while he was still with the WWF. And I don't, it might have been right before he left the WWF. I can't remember, but it was sometime.
It may be the reason he left WWF.
Oh, come on now. But anyway, that was the thing. He wanted to do it. It wasn't like he's just doing random appearances. It was the friend of his from the old days that owned this place. And if you look in the video, there's a guy that looks, he's a big, tall, white guy. It looks like he's kind of got like an Elvis Presley impersonator kind of pompadour thing. And he's wearing the t-shirt from the place or whatever. But anyway, so we go down there, we do the go-kart race, right? Where, I get started late and then I can't make it work. And then I get turned around and I'm going the other way. And I'm like, hey, you're not supposed to, and then I'm threatening I'm going to sue the guy. He gave me a fucking lemon. And then we have the Goonie golf guy. I can't, again, remember whether we played an entire game of Goonie golf, but there was a lot of people that had gathered for this, that he had advertised his grand opening.
Is Goonie golf mini golf?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, but this is East Tennessee. So like if you go to Pigeon Forge or you get Gatlinburg or whatever, they go, oh, it's Goonie golf, that type of thing. But it's not a full-sized golf course where people are just wandering around being Goony. To answer your question,
Sign me up for that. It sounds like Caddyshack too.
and then there's gophers involved. See, it is gopher golf. But anyway, we're playing and I'm fucking sweating. And a bunch of people have come, and I think they had the radio station there for a while. And then I'm trying to figure out a way to, entertainingly be the heel manager, sweating my balls off and working the Goonie golf. And I hear honk, honk, the horns honking, hey! And I look over my shoulder, and down the hill, it's fucking Terry Landell.
No.
Terry Landell has heard the fucking live remote. Or the advertisement that I'm going to be there, and I'm there with Macho Man, and he's honking his horn. He's driving a red Mustang, and he had some girl in the car with him. And he's honking his horn, and he's yelling out the window, "Who's your daddy?" and all that stuff. And if he's promoting one of his shows, I can't. He's just generally making a nuisance out of himself, as he always did, right? And the way that this place was laid out, there was a hillside, and you could be on a road that was kind of uphill, and you could be on a road that was kind of downhill. And he had driven around a couple times, whatever. But finally, I just like, God damn it, can't even enjoy Goonie golf with Randy Macho Man Savage. That's his money. And by the way, he was an outlaw promoter that was a thorn in our side and was the Ernest T. Bass of pro wrestling in East Tennessee.
Well, you see, that's the thing. It even predates Smoky Mountain Wrestling. He's been a pain in the ass and a thorn in the side that any wrestling promoter in Knoxville going back to the 70s.
Any wrestling promoter that wouldn't either put him on the card in some fashion or recognize him as somehow some type of personality. By the way, he's dead now. So hold on one second. Terry Lett died, I think, about a year ago. Just fucking graveyard dead. Let me hold on. Just so I want to make sure. When they fingerprinted me for trying to kill him, that was what the cop said. "So you tried to kill Terry Landell." I said, "That's what they claim." He said, "Too bad you missed." So anyway,
and that's the police.
That was the police. Yeah, and that's a direct quote. Some hillbilly shit went on in Knoxville back in it. But anyway, so I'm trying to play Goonie golf with Randy Savage, and here this motherfucker now is down at the bottom of the hill, and he's honking his horn in his red Mustang and yelling, and I can see me walking down the hill. I've got this Goonie golf club in my hand. And finally, I'd had enough, and I'm walking down the hill going, "Get your ass out of that fucking car, motherfucker. I'm going to beat that windshield in with this goddamn Goonie golf club." And as I'm cussing him, he's out of the car on this, but now he fucking grabs the door and opens the door where the girl is, and on the passenger side, and he looks like, I can't remember what he said, but he's trying to give me the impression he's going to get his gun, because then I had to say, "Get your gun so that I can shove it up your ass after I beat your head in with this Goonie golf club, you stupid motherfucker." Because he wasn't going to shoot me in front of 500 fucking witnesses. And then he goddamn jumps the car and he fucking speeds off, and I'm running through the parking lot after him, swinging the fucking golf club. "You motherfucker!" And I mean, there's a bunch of kids that come to the Goonie golf place, but the owner.
I forgot about the kids being there.
Yeah, they got Goonie with their golf that day. I'm like, "You motherfucker, come back here! I'm gonna beat you in a jelly." And he head out down. But the owner is Savage's friend, and he was around the business in the 70s when strange shit happened, right? So he wasn't fazed by it. So then I go back up the hill. Well, now I'm really fucking sweating, and I've still got to finish the fucking golf. I'm blowed up. I look like somebody had turned a shower on me. And I had to pick up and finish the Goonie golf game to whatever extent that there was after I'd chased Terry Landell out of the fucking course with the goddamn Goonie golf club.
That's a Terry Landell story I'd never heard before.
Well, I didn't even think about it until this was one day in a life. But whenever that was, that's when that was. Whew. I tell you, that's the thing. If Brian, if we had the fancy Dan wireless phone plans and things and such that we've got now back then you'd know about these things instantly. But sometimes these are hidden gems that remain to be unveiled. But now we know everything. And well, you know as well as I know, and only you and I know, that Mint Mobile is the cheapest great phone plan. That's what the 5G network, I found out that's great. Because they
Ding! I don't have the thing here. Ding!
Well,
Ding.
hold on. I'll do that for you.
Something? Hold on. What's here?
I'll do that for you. But it's because it gets 5Gs.
Yes.
It gets 5Gs. That's the way they determine the top network. Instead of 5 stars, it's 5Gs. You get 1 great, 2 great, 3 great, 4 great, 5 great. Well, you work on your timing there.
Hey.
But Mint Mobile,
that's not nice,
has the biggest network that there is, and that's why that they can deliver to you high-speed data and unlimited talk and text delivered on the nation's largest 5 great network, and they can do it for only $15 a month. You know why? Low overhead. That's why, because Mint Mobile knows how to operate a business. They keep their ship tight. Their things buttoned up, and they pass the savings on to the consumer. So if you want a phone plan where you get all of that stuff, you can use your own phone. With any of these Mint Mobile plans, you can bring your own phone number, bring your existing contacts along, and just have a big party. You remember we've talked about everybody getting a party line. I think if people communicated more, well, there might be more love in the world. Put a little love in your heart with a party line where you just join up 15 or 20 of you. Just stay on the phone all the time. And you can do that because it's unlimited. There's an unlimited amount of things you can do with Mint Mobile. And one of them is ditching the overpriced wireless, and you get 3 months of premium wireless service for $15 a month. Brian, have I told a lie there? Have I exaggerated anything?
Right there? Be more specific. What is right there?
Well, I'm just saying, I'm just giving you the straight out facts. I'm just telling you what the situation is here. I'm not extrapolating or hyperbolating the whole issue
Certainly
here.
Not. No, of course not.
No, and that's why, friends don't let friends overpay for wireless. Because the next thing you know, after a friend lets a friend overpay for wireless, the next thing could result in some kind of unwanted pregnancy or potential legal charge. You could be letting people get away with all kinds of shit. So nip it right here in the bud. If you have some uninformed friend or even relative, I'm sure a lot of our listeners know stupid people, and they don't know about Mint Mobile, and they're just throwing their money at some high-priced outfit. Let them know about this, and that way they can change their methods and modify their attitude accordingly by going to mintmobile.com/JCE and getting the 3-month premium wireless plan for just $15 a month. That's $45. It's simple mathematics. Boom! The wireless bill, it is now $15 a month. And it does all this fancy Dan shit that the kids like to do. You can take the pictures and press the button to send the smiley face or the fucking dick shooting sperm all over the face of a goddamn.
Come on, we're right near the end. Why do you have
aardvark?
to?
I don't know.
An aardvark? Really, an aardvark?
Well, I don't know. They're so small, I can't tell what they are. But it looks like something's always coming on something else.
All right, somehow this is getting worse and worse. But Mint Mobile will make your life better and better. That is a guarantee that no one is making. But we really, really, truly believe that they may make things better. Jim, one more time. What's that promo code?
Well, it's mintmobile.com/JCE, and don't worry, folks, they won't come on you at all. It's just these other people.
Mint Mobile.